Hi everyone, Kat here. Today I'm going to be talking about a subject that I've really wanted to talk about on this channel, but I've been a little bit nervous, and it takes a lot to build up to talking to subjects that make us uncomfortable and things that were difficult in our past. So I'm going to just go through a little bit of my background and why this is all important to me. So I've always had a bit of a distorted body image. I feel like most people do. There's things about your body that you don't like, and there's things that you might consistently see that other people tell you, oh, no, I don't see that, when you're like, oh, I 100% see that all the time. So the distorted body image was not very uncommon. Then around sophomore year of high school, I started to restrict my eating. I started to overexercise, and I noticed myself starting to develop a pattern of restrictive eating that eventually led to anorexia, and overexercising that eventually led to basically exercise dependence, where if you don't know what exercise dependence is, it's basically an addiction to exercise. You feel like if you don't exercise that day, you're not a worthy person, you don't deserve to be walking around happy and having a nice day. And I felt like if I was eating, I was giving in and I was making my body worse. And it ended up really spiraling out of control to the point where, as I was heading into college, my freshman year, I actually had to stay home and go to community college and kind of take some time to focus on my health. Instead of focusing on my health, my eating disorder and my exercise dependence just continually got worse, and it was going into a spiral that I felt like I couldn't get out of. Every single day was really hard. Eating anything felt like a massive undertaking. I had parents, I had friends, I had family trying to tell me, please eat, you look perfect, you even look too skinny at this point, and it felt like no matter what they said when I looked in the mirror, and when I just walked around being me, that I was overweight, that I was unattractive, that everything about me was horrible. And this continued to go on. I would say for 4 or 5 solid years, I really had a lot of issues with this eating problem and with this exercise problem, and really just with this horrible distortion of who I was as a person. I started to hate myself, not just for how I looked, but who I was. I started to question who I was. I started to get really frustrated with characteristics of myself that I used to like. And all of this spiraled into basically just major depression. When I was in my second semester of college, I ended up going to Fordham, which was very close to where I was living with my parents, so I didn't stay at Fordham. I commuted every single day, and I was eating about once a day. I was eating 1 or 2 granola bars, and that was it. That's what I was down to at that point. I was working out every single day for about 2 to 3 hours, and obviously you can tell the problem with that. I got all the way down to 95 pounds. I'm 5'4", 5'3", depending on the day, depending on who measures me, so that was horrible. I looked like a skeleton, and at the time, I remember thinking wow, I finally look beautiful. I remember there's pictures of me from my 19th birthday that I look back at consistently throughout this journey to remind myself how far I've come, not look how much worse I look, but wow, I was so unhealthy. I looked unhappy. My face was sunken in. My skin looked like it wasn't getting enough nutrients. My body was decrepit. I was tired all the time. Everything was sore. I was getting injuries. But at that time, I thought that I was finally beautiful. I felt like for the first time in my life, I looked the way that I really wanted to. I remember ever since I can remember, really, thinking that I was overweight and thinking that I was fat and thinking that my thighs were bigger or my stomach was bigger than friends. And this goes all the way back to the time I was 5 or 6. So then I met my lovely fiance, and we spent about 3 to 4 years working on getting over this body image problem. Basically, that's been the main focus for me for the past 3 years. And what really, I'd go back and forth. I'd eat a little bit and then I would fall back. It's just like an addiction. You are addicted to not eating. That's what feels good. You get a high from not eating. For anyone that doesn't have an eating disorder, that's why. It's not just we'll just eat. You get an amazing rush and a high from not eating, and you want to basically punish yourself when you do eat. So it's a really weird way of thinking about food, and it's a really unhealthy relationship with, obviously. So I was going back and forth, teeter-tottering. Sometimes would be good, sometimes would do bad. And then in December of last year, December of, 2017 at this point, heading into 2018, I went to the doctor and I found out that I was pregnant with our first child, Harper, who obviously you guys have seen on the channel if you have followed my videos in the past. And that's when I knew I didn't have a choice anymore. I had to make a change. I had to figure out how to develop a healthy relationship with exercise and with eating, or I wasn't going to be able to support this pregnancy, and I wasn't going to be able to keep my child healthy and safe. And that was really a big push moment for me. I didn't have the choice anymore to say, oh, eventually I'll get over it. Or, I already am over it, as I'm still Obviously not. I used to say that all the time, like, oh, I'm already fine. Like, it's better than it was. I'm eating 5 granola bars. Like, you know, but when I found out I was pregnant, that wasn't a choice. So then me and Will spent time working through it as my body was changing and my body was growing and I was gaining weight, obviously, which you're supposed to for a pregnancy. It was very hard. There were moments where I felt horrible about myself, but through that experience and through that growth, I was able to start to develop a healthy relationship with my body, and I'm still working on it every single day. Just like someone with an addiction, I have to be careful. I have to be aware. I know that I have the tendency to overexercise and to not eat. So when I find myself overtraining, some helpful tips in general. So why did I make this video? Was it just to tell you guys, oh, woe is me, this has been my struggles? Absolutely not. That's the last thing that I want to do. I made this video so I could give some helpful hints and tricks. If you're wondering what's going on in the background, Harper's listening to Baby Einstein so that I was able to film this video. So that's that noise. I wasn't just like, oh, they'll enjoy this music. But I wanted to give some helpful tips and tricks for people that are going through this and things that are realistic, not just go eat something or stop exercising. I know that that doesn't work. I've been in your shoes. So one helpful trick is to cross-train. If you're an avid runner, cross-train. Use some weights, incorporate Pilates, incorporate bar. If you have to work out every day, which I get it, I've been there, make sure that you're varying your workouts. You're less likely to get an injury. You're putting less stress on your body. Another thing, if you insist upon working out for more than an hour a day, split it up into 2 sessions so that you're not putting all of that stress on your body at once. And stretch. Please stretch every day, especially if you're working out extremely strenuously. Another tip for if you are having a problem with overexercising is to meet with a personal trainer and have them give you a set of exercises, like a workout plan, and just stick to that workout plan. Because in your mind, somebody that has the background and has the education is telling you if you do just this amount of work, you'll be fine. So I found that helpful. I actually went to a personal trainer a few years back and they gave me a workout list of what to do. And I thought to myself, okay, if I just do this, I'll be fine. And it ended up really helping me. Now, if you have an eating disorder, it can be a little bit more complicated because obviously eating is the whole issue. So a couple of ways that I helped myself slowly but surely, having small meals. If looking at a plate full of food is too much for you, which I totally understand, even for me now sometimes it's too much, eat 6 small meals a day. That could be a granola bar, an apple with peanut butter. Break it up and make it small. Another thing, drink your calories. Have healthy smoothies that are packed with fruits and vegetables and protein powder, because then it doesn't feel like you're eating something, but you're still getting in calories, and good calories, not just empty calories. 3, stay away from protein bars. I know that they seem like they can be helpful, but they become almost like a crutch, because you're telling yourself, I'm eating a bar, so everything is fine. I would recommend in general, for people that have eating disorders, just coming from my own experience, that's not the right way to go. So try to avoid that. Another thing, drink plenty of water. It doesn't make any difference. It's not going to add or take any weight away. So make sure you're drinking plenty of water, especially if that's the only thing that you're able to do that day. At least you're not dehydrated on top of it all. Another good idea is to add some high energy foods, because I haven't explained this yet, but all that a calorie is a unit of energy. So when you're looking at the back of a food container and you're looking at the calories, because I know that that's what everyone looks at, even though there's a ton more information on the back, and you see 200 calories, you have to realize that that's 200 calories of energy. Your body needs energy to go throughout your day. So I know back when I had my eating disorder, I was exhausted. I would sleep all the time that I wasn't somewhere. I felt like no matter how much sleep I got, I was running on empty. And because of that, I became chronically addicted to caffeine, you could say, like everybody else. So I was drinking 9, 10, 11 cups of coffee a day just to combat the exhaustion that comes along with an eating disorder. And why are you so exhausted when you have an eating disorder? Because you're not taking in any energy. Your body is running on nothing. If you thought of yourself as a car, it's a car with no gas. So another tip that I have for people that have eating disorders, and this is kind of like my final tip, is find a way of tracking your food. So there's a base amount of calories that everybody needs. Everybody needs 1,200 calories just for your normal metabolic functions. So take 1,200 calories. Divide up your meals into a day. Say that you have an apple and peanut butter, and then you have a bowl of cereal, and then you have a smoothie, and then you have one and the other. break it down so that you're at just the 1,200 calories. Even that is a step in the right direction. It's not the only thing to do. It's not going to make everything better, but you're at least giving your body enough to survive off of, because eventually your body starts attacking the smooth muscles like your heart and other things like that. So you have to really make sure that, I know it's hard, I understand that it's hard, but that you're trying any way that you can. And look at every single step that you make as a huge, massive accomplishment, because it is. If you ate 3 meals one day, that is fantastic. I am so proud of you. If you decided to do yoga instead of going for a run and you worked out 6 days this week, I am so proud of you for making that decision, for your body, for your health, for everything. If you ever feel like you need any support, or if you have any questions, or if you ever just really want to talk, I'm here. You can leave a comment below, and I would love to help anybody that's been in my situation, because I know I had a lot of love and I had a lot of support, but I felt like I didn't have a lot of empathy. I didn't have a lot of understanding from other people. They felt bad for me, and they were very sad that I was where I was at, but they didn't understand. They didn't get how hard it was to overcome. They didn't understand that each little step was something. Like, maybe I only ate 1 meal that day, but I ate that meal. So if you need someone that's that support, that's understanding, I'm here for you. I just want to let everyone know that you're never alone. You have me here, because I remember, if you're exhausted and your body has nothing to run on, and you are over-exercising, you're likely to get depressed. And depression is a horrible thing. So I don't want anyone to ever feel alone. I don't want anyone to ever feel like they don't have anyone to talk to. I'm always here. Comment below. I made this channel to help people. I didn't make it to just toot my own horn. I'm becoming a personal trainer. I'm becoming a nutritionist because I'm passionate about living a life that you're proud of, and where you feel good in your own skin, waking up every morning, you feel energetic, you feel ready, and you don't feel super restricted. That's not my goal. It's a lifestyle. It's not just about being healthy for a month. It's about figuring out ways to incorporate health into your entire lifestyle. So thank you guys so much. This is Kat, strong, not skinny as always, and I'll see you guys soon. I hope to be posting more of these videos that I just give a little bit more information about topics outside of exercise, because health is not all about exercise. It's a full, I'm a whole person. You're a whole person. I like to use a whole person approach. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you soon.